Hi, it's Justin. I want to have a look at something with you today, all about how we go about onboarding. Why am I showing you this today? And I'm going to show you some of our systems and how they work, and we're going to move into a quick screen share and really have a close look about what we're doing. But why? Why show you this? Well, I realised that actually a lot of things to do with business, a lot of the admin is at the front end. When we take on a new customer, we take on a new client, and actually giving a client then a consistent journey. Actually, the perfect point to do that is at that stage. Also, when we start thinking about forecasting, actually we know how much someone is going to spend on day one, then actually we can have much more accurate forecasts. We can know where our business is growing. So I think the easiest way to do this is let's have a look at some of my online systems. So here we go. Okay, this is our proposal software called Ignition. Ignition, I love Ignition. In the accountancy market, we have to provide something called letters of engagement, and obviously people want to know how much we're going to charge them as well. So what we decided a few years ago is to move on to this proposal software called Ignition. There are other things available like Go Proposal or other kind of very sort of more specific types of proposal software. But it allows us to kind of build everything together into one neat and tidy proposal and offer our clients a fixed fee. And the wonderful thing it does is it builds me this dashboard about our clients. Now, this is just demo data. It's not actually from my business, but it gives you the idea. And when I log into our software, I can see on this graph here exactly how much money we're making. My graph, it's an upward trajectory rather than having this dip, and there is a constant increase in fees. One of the wonderful things, it tells me what the percentage increase, and I know, having looked that today, that my percentage increase for the year is around 16%. It's telling me all sorts of really valuable information, because the kind of the first day of the month, when I put the key in the lock, so to speak, of the business premises, I know how much money we're going to bring in, and it's telling me what all our fixed fees are, how much we're making from payroll accounts, all of that kind of great stuff. The other things that it's sort of telling me is we don't use this payments feature, but it could tell you what your payments are. I particularly like this conversions data about how many proposals we send, what the values are, what are being accepted, how long it takes to accept. These are really important KPIs, key performance indicators. If it only takes hours for a client to accept, I know that I have been doing the right job in telling them how much it's going to cost, what the experience is going to look like, all of those great things, and also the total number of clients, and also a breakdown of revenue per service as well. It's not just my business that can do this sort of thing, it's lots of businesses. It helps if you're in a service-based industry. I've seen marketing companies doing this really, really effectively, where they wrap all of their marketing retainers into nice proposals, and they can see how much they're going to bring in terms of monthly revenue. But this isn't where the magic happens. The magic happens after this through automation, because when we send a proposal to a client, we've already gathered some key information about that client. We've written down their address, their email address, their phone number. We've asked them about their taxes and what services they're going to take. So we then send a proposal with all of those services on. We should have warmed them up in terms of give them a rough guide on cost. What does it look like when you get your e-signature request? What's contained within those terms? And then they accept the proposal. And then this is kind of where it really pays off for us, is because it sets off a series of automations. And this is a piece of software that I've just flicked onto called Zapier. And you can see I've just run a search there for new client, and a series of what they call zaps happen. And one of those zaps is we've got here is it's just called new client, and it creates a series of steps that happen. So there's a bit of stuff that goes on where I Ignition contains the name field all in one field, but because I use MailChimp later on, MailChimp needs that as a separate field, so I have to use a bit of text formatting to do that. But the first step that happens is it sends a Slack channel message. Slack's a messaging platform that we use, and we've got a channel called New Clients. And everyone in the organisation is signed up to that channel, and they immediately get notified that we've taken on a new client. There's a link to the proposal, and it makes it very, very easy for us to find kind of the information about the client, or for our staff to find that information as well. The next two steps that we go through is it adds them to two different MailChimp lists. One is what we call our events list, which is a hang up from when we used to have in-person events and webinars and things like that. I think it's more about service updates now for our organisation. When I've produced a video like this, I'll put it onto a MailChimp and send it out as an email blast. But the last step is it puts them onto something called a MailChimp drip campaign. And this is like automations within MailChimp. If you imagine every time you take on a client, there's always the same problems happening. Why send a Slack channel message to everyone in my team? Well, it's because I don't want that situation where a client rings up and says, "Oh, hi, I've just signed up as a new client." The member of staff's going, "Who are you?" And they don't know who they are. By the time that Slack channel message is sent, the right documents are saved within our Drive system. A folder will exist for them. They will exist in our time tracking software. That's all automated behind the scenes. It's not somebody doing it. It's just moving data from one place to another. But those questions continue, don't they? And this is where we started building up email sort of journeys, and that's what MailChimp called them, and I quite like that expression of journeys. And if I click into MailChimp here, journeys, we're actually using the classic automation still. Again, I've had these running for quite a long time. But I mean, one of the simple automations that we've got here is saying happy birthday to our clients. So we've got a list on there. All our clients are in. We've got the birthdays there, so they get a little message from us on their birthday. Really, just it's meant to be a nice thing. It's a funny little message that we've got on there. We're not trying to be too serious in terms of being a firm of accountants, so that works really well. I've got an interesting journey there about new company formations. When someone forms a new company for the first time, they're going to need a bank account. So where do you get the bank account? How do you go about? What documents are they going to ask for? What does all this new language mean? Like, what's an annual accounts or confirmation statement? The journey takes them and answers all of those questions. Who's their point of contact at my organisation? How do they find their company incorporation certificate on Companies House? Well, here's the link, and this is how you go about doing it. It's just a journey. That's a very specific journey that we've got, answering a lot of questions, and you can see that 174 people have been on that particular journey. I think that's a bit of a red herring, that, because it's the number of, there are obviously multi-steps in there, you'll see in a minute. So it's the total number of subscribers to all of the emails within that journey. So the other two important ones is then through our special Zap that we've got, we differentiate between whether someone is a new client or whether they are a renewing client. And if they are a new client, we're really keen to nurture that relationship with the client. And I'll show you inside this particular journey because I think you're going to find it really, really interesting. Very quickly, within them accepting the proposal, we send them a welcome email. Who do they contact? How to get in touch with the organisation? All of those kind of key things that they would need to do. Communication. What are the best channels of communication? How do they get in touch with us? That's happening, 3 days after they get that email. About bookkeeping and admin, they're getting a nice video in there, which I think you can find on my YouTube channel somewhere, about expenses. What's an allowable business expense? Some hints and tips of things that you might not know about when running your business. And then it gets into a more general journey for the client. You can see, look in the queue, there are people traveling through this journey all the time. We have a private closed Facebook group for small business owners. We tell them about that. We've got some e-learning content. Every new client at Orange Umbrella, my accountancy firm, I give them one of my books as just a little thank you. So, thanks so much for coming on board as a client. Here's a book. And this is the first piece of knowledge that we're going to give them. I tell them about my YouTube channel. Mortgage advice is a massive part. I teach on the Help to Grow program, which is a fantastic management training program. I tell them about apprenticeships so they can get the right staff. Interestingly, at this point, then I start maybe asking for something back. So I sort of say to them, oh, well, do you want to come and give us a Google review? And the general idea is I'm using a little bit of psychology here. My first intention is that I want to guide my client and I want them to make the right decisions. I want to give them information. At the end of the day, our day job is to do accountancy work. That's what we should be doing day to day. This stuff that I'm giving them is the icing on the cake. So at this point, hopefully they've experienced enough of my organisation to know that we're really, really good at what we do. They should have been getting these emails from us going, oh, great, the Orange Umbrella are giving me all this great business information to help guide me. They even get me this book. And then we go, oh, do you want to come and give us a Google review? And I'm pulling on something called reciprocity there. I've given them lots of stuff. So human nature, they want to give us something back. And it means that we've got a constant flow of Google reviews coming on. And this is something fairly recent that I've added onto our drip campaign just to try and encourage clients to do that. And then we continue along giving them more information. I've got a couple of more e-learning courses, reminding them about the Facebook group. Then we're going to using that reciprocity thing again, come and give us have you given us a review? And actually that email is really, really nice. It's called Jedi Mind Tricks is the title of, and I teach the client a little bit about how they can change their marketing using the 7 principles of human persuasion, which is all about psychology. Some people say that email's funny. We will see. And that's a relatively new email as well. I've had a big shake up of all of this as well. So a lot of this stuff is kind of new and I'm really pleased with it. I've recorded a podcast. There's something that's all about financial management, which is quite interesting to them. But then this is a good email here. Again, it's in accountancy. It's very easy to miss clients, and again, it's a key mistake that people, I think, accountants make is they take on a client and they go, right, I'll see them in a year's time. That's not what we want. So we send them an email and say, look, do you want some help and support? Come and have a business review meeting. This is how you do it. Here's the link to book online. Don't want to deal with online? That's fine. Here's the phone number. Do you want to send an email? Here's the email link. And it's just bringing them back to us and making sure that we're looking after them really, really well. Going on, I've got book reviews, how our renewal process for the contract works, and then we've got a reminder. So all of those things that we've told them over the last year, we consolidate it all into one email and say, right, here's the link to our Knowledge Bank free e-learning course for you as a client. Here's the property tax, here's the Facebook group, here's the YouTube channel, here's the podcast, all into one condensed email. I think there's 20 emails in there in total, and hopefully by the time they reach the end of their journey, they'll feel like they've been really, really looked after. There's loads of psychology going on here because we're fundamentally making sure that we're constantly getting referrals into our organisation. And I know because I can look at my Ignition dashboard and see that we are 16% up on this financial year and we're not finished yet. We've got another maybe 12, 13 days to go to the end of our financial year, and I've got some things cooking in the pipeline. So I know we're going to be up. I know we've got more clients. I know the business is in a fantastic position. But it's all very well being in a position on day one, but we've got to kind of look after people as they go. And I was really keen to sort of give you a bit of a look behind the curtain about what we've got going on a little bit, to give you some ideas, because you can absolutely do this for your business. I have spent hundreds And I know, you know, hundreds of hours building the content that goes behind these drip campaigns. Books do not just write themselves, unfortunately. Even using things like ChatGPT, they're not going to write themselves. They take a lot of effort. Recording this video, I'm going to record it. I've got to save it. I've got to put it into iMovie. I've then got to re-upload it. They take a lot of time and effort. And of course, I'm recording it to benefit my clients as well. But think about those journeys. Think about where your customers are coming from. How do you stop replicating data? Well, these sorts of things really, really help you. Things like Zapier, moving data from one system to another, absolutely wonderful. When someone clicks one of those ignition proposals, just to give you a very quick summary of what happens, that Slack channel message goes, they're set up in our time tracking software. All of their jobs are created automatically into our practice management software for project management. They get put onto our normal email mailing list. They get put onto one of our journeys as well, one of these MailChimp journeys. And it's taking data that we've already inputted into that ignition system, and it's just being filtered into all of our other systems as well. It saves huge amounts of time, and it's consistent as well. Clients love consistency, and that's also one of the 7 principles of human persuasion as well: commitment and consistency. So doing these things will make sure that you're doing the right things. And actually, me recording this video, me sharing this knowledge, me writing a book, having a YouTube channel, teaching at a university, they all provide something called authority as well. And that's really, really important in persuading your customers. We're not short of word of mouth referrals, and I think it's because we've put the emphasis on education and knowledge. We're not selling to our clients. We've already done that bit. We've done the hardest bit. By educating and guiding, it generates huge numbers of word of mouth referrals. And at the moment, the time of recording this, we're having to put people on a little waiting list to come on board with us. So I know it works, and I know it works really, really well. So have a think today about what you can do in your business to streamline your client onboarding, your customer onboarding, capture information. Even if you don't work in a service industry like mine, think about how your restaurant or your cafe business works, or if you've got a retail shop, ask for data from clients so you can send them a follow-up email. I've got a great example of this just to finish on, is I bought a new electric toothbrush recently, and absolutely great. The company afterwards sent me a message and said, "Oh, are you aware that this product does this, and actually this is how long it will hold its charge for?" Oh, well, yeah, no, I didn't realise I could go 20 days without having to charge it up. But they took us on a little journey, little messages about dental hygiene, tips on flossing. This might not seem very interesting, but if you sell electric toothbrushes, it's quite useful information to know. Whatever your business, you can do something like this, and you can improve your client journey, and it will ultimately lead to better profits, better forecasting, better understanding of your business, and better control as well. So make sure you're doing something like this today. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.